Good afternoon, guys. I hope you're all well. We'll be doing Algebra grade 12 part 4. So I have an interesting question for you guys. As you can see here, we have question 1, 1.1, solve for x. So for 1.1.1, we have x squared plus 4x is equals to 0, which is like 2 marks, guys. So this is an easy question, as you can see, guys. So to pass mathematics exam paper for this year, it's very easy as long as you practice hard, guys, and work hard. So now if you have a question like this, you just open up a bracket. You take out the common factor first, which is x. You say x into x plus 4 is equal to 0, and then you equate x to 0, which is like x is equals to 0, or x plus 4 is equals to 0, and then you transpose 4 to the right hand side, which will become like -4, which x is gonna be equal to -4, and then you get the 2 marks, guys. For the next question, which is 1.1.2, we have 2x squared minus 1 over 2 is equals to 3x, and then they've indicated to you that it is to 2 decimal places, which is like 4 marks. So in these questions, guys, you have to solve this and put it in the correct format. So you'll have like 2x squared minus 3x as you take this to the left hand side, it will become negative, minus 1 over 2 is equals to 0. And then now, since here we have a whole number, and here we have coefficient, and here we have 2x squared, you can go directly to the quadratic formula and say x is equals to minus b plus minus into root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So -1 over 2 will be our c, and -3x will be our b, and 2 will be our a. So you substitute into our formula. You'll have negative into -3 plus or minus into root of -3 squared minus 4 into 2 into -1 over 2, close bracket, over 2 into 2. And then now you punch in your calculator. You have negative into -3 plus root into -3 all squared minus 4 into 2 into -1 over 2, close bracket, over 2 bracket of 2. It's equal to, so for your first solution, x is equals to 1,65, or x is equal to -0,15. So those are your 2 final solutions for 1.1.2. So for 1.1.3, we have 3x squared plus 5x is greater than or equal to 2. So now we can see there, guys, we have an inequality sign. So what do we do in this case? We need to put this equation in the correct sequence, right? So you'll have 3x squared plus 5x minus 2 is greater than or equal to 0. Now you look for your critical values. So in this case, you're going to open up 2 brackets, right? Which now you find your factors. You'll have 3x, close bracket, open bracket, x, close, it's equal to 0. Now you're looking for factors. When you multiply, they'll give you 2. When you minus or add, they will give you 5. So in this case, we have 3x there, guys. So we can multiply it by 2 to give us 6, and multiply it by 1, so that when we minus it can give us positive 5. So in this case, since our middle term is positive 5, the greater term, when we multiply 3 by 2, it has to be positive as well, meaning that we're going to put positive in the second bracket and put negative in the first bracket. Now you find your own critical values, which will say like 3x is equals to 1, or x is equals to -2, and you divide by 3 both sides, which will x will become 1 over 3. So now you drop your inequality sign. For the small value of x, the inequality sign will change. So x will be lesser than or equal to negative 2, or x will be greater than or equal to 1 over 3. And then you get your full 4 marks. So for 1.1.4, you have 2 to power 2x plus 2 to power x minus 6 is equals to 0. So guys, to solve this question, there are multiple methods to solve it, but also the easiest one you can use the k method, but I would prefer to use the factorization one, which is like when you open up two brackets, you'll have 2 to power x. On the second bracket, you'll have 2 to power x, and then you find the factors of 6, which will be like 3 and 2, and then the bigger number will take the positive sign of the middle term, which is like 3, and then here will be negative, it's equals to 0, and then you equate each bracket to 0, which is 2 to power x minus 2, it's equals to 0, or 2 to power x plus 3, it's equals to 0, and then you transpose negative 2 to the right hand side, which 2 to power x will be equal to positive 2, or 2 to power x will be equal to negative 3. 2 to power x cannot be equal to negative 3. So this one, it's unsolvable. There's no solution there. And then we have 2 to power x being equal to 2 to power 1, right? And then you drop your exponents because you have the same basis, which x will be equal to 1. And then you get your 3 marks on this question, guys. So now we'll be going to 1.1.5. So guys, we have 1.1.5 sorry, which is x squared minus 2x plus 3 plus 2 over x squared minus 2x is equals to 0. So most of the grade 12s, when they start to see a complicated question like this one, they start to panic. But for the advice that I'm going to give you is that every time when you see complicated questions like this one, you should remain calm. Do not panic, because now if you panic, the brain will start to like confuse itself. You won't be able to like solve questions. Even the next following question, you will not be able to follow it. So guys, in this case, you have to remain calm. So now we see that we have x squared minus 2x plus 3 plus 2 over x squared minus 2x is equals to 0, right? We are looking for the common thing so that we can replace it by k. So now we have x squared minus 2x as our common value on our equation. So we're gonna say x squared minus 2x is equal to k, so that we can make the question to be solvable. There are also other methods, guys, we can use. Don't mind sharing them with us, guys, please. Now we substitute k where we see this. We're gonna have k plus 3 plus 2 over k, it's equals to 0. And then now, since we have this, we say our lowest common denominator is k, right? And then we multiply everything by k. Then we're gonna have k squared plus 3k plus 2 is equals to 0. And then you factorize this, you're gonna have k is equals to 0, and our factors of 2 is 2 and 1. The sign's gonna remain the same because here it's both positive, plus, and then k is equals to negative 1, or k is equals to negative 2. But in this case, guys, you are solving for x, so where you have k, you bring back that thing there you replaced by k. So you're gonna say x squared minus 2x is equals to negative 1, or x squared minus 2x is equals to negative 2, and then you bring negative 1 to the left hand side, which will have x squared minus 2x plus 1 is equals to 0, and then you open up two brackets, so it's to 0, x, and then the factors of 1 is 1 and 1, right, guys? So we'll have 1 and 1, and then to have positive here and here to have negative, the signs have to be the same, which will put negative and negative, and then x is equals to positive 1 for both sides, and then you have x squared minus 2x. You transpose negative 2 to the right hand side, which will become positive 2 is equals to 0, and then in this instance, guys, we can't factorize this, so you'll use a quadratic formula, which will become like x is equals to minus b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac, right, guys, over 2a. So now you substitute you have negative into negative 2 plus or minus root of negative 2 squared minus 4 into 1 into positive 2 over 2 into 1. And then now you'll have you punch in your calculator, negative into negative 2 plus root of negative 2 squared minus 4 into positive 2 over 2. It's equals to, this thing doesn't have a solution. So guys, we'll be doing 1.1.6, which we have root of x plus 5 minus x is equals to negative 1. So now we have a question that needs squaring both sides, right? Which weighs like 4 marks. So in this case, we're gonna have root of x plus 5 transpose negative x to the right hand side, which becomes positive x minus 1. Square both sides. The square cancels the square root. We have x plus 5 remaining, and we have x minus 1 to the square, meaning that we're gonna do a FOIL. We'll have x squared minus 2x plus 1, and then we transpose x plus 5 to the right hand side, which will have x squared minus 3x minus 4 is equals to 0. And then we want the factors of 4. When you multiply, they give you 4. When you add a minus, they give you 3. And then open up two brackets, put x is equal to 0. You put 4 and 1, which is the factors of 4. And then the greater number between 1 and 4 will take the negative sign, which 4 is the greater. So you put negative here, you put positive here. X is equals to negative 1, or x is equals to 4. But this doesn't mean you have finished answering the question. You have to go back to the original equation and substitute negative 1 to check if like root of x plus 5 minus x is equal to negative 1. So you use your calculator. Root of negative 1 plus 5 minus into negative 1 gives you positive 3, meaning that it's not equal to the right hand side. So x cannot be equal to negative 1. Go back to another x. Root 4 plus 5 minus 4 is equals to negative 1, meaning that x is equals to 4. And then we're gonna go to the next question, which is the simultaneous question. We have x plus 2y is equals to 5, which is our equation 1. And we have 2y squared minus xy minus 4x squared is equals to 8, becoming our equation 2. Now we have to make equation 3 from the simplest equation above. So we'll make this one to be our equation 3, which will make x to be the subject of the formula. We have x is equals to negative 2y plus 5, which will become our equation 3. And then since we made equation 3 from equation 1, you'll have to sub equation 3 into equation 2, because you can't sub equation 3 to equation 1 because it's the same thing. Now you substitute sub 3 into equation 2. Then we have 2y squared minus y into negative 2y plus 5 minus 4 into negative 2y plus 5 all squared is equals to 8. Then 2y squared, negative y multiplied by negative 2y will become positive 2y squared. Negative y multiplied by positive 5 will become negative 5y. And then negative 4 multiplied by negative 2y will become positive 8y. And then negative 4 multiplied by, no, sorry. We need to do a FOIL first, meaning that it's negative 4 into negative 2y multiplied by negative 2y is going to become 4y squared. And then negative 2y multiplied by positive 5 will become negative 10y minus 10y is going to be negative 20y. And then 5 multiplied by 5 is going to be positive 25. And then it's equals to 8. And then 2y squared plus 2y squared is going to be 4y squared. and then minus 5y, and then negative 4 multiplied by this is going to be negative 16y squared. Negative 4 multiplied by this is going to be positive 80y, and then negative 4 multiplied by 25 is going to become 100, become negative 100, minus 8 is equals to 0. So we are looking for all items. We have 4y squared minus 16y squared, which will be left with negative 12y squared. We have negative 5 plus 80. We are left with positive 75y. We have negative 100 minus 8 is equals to negative 108 is equals to 0. And then now we have to divide by the negative sign because we don't want our y squared to be negative. So you divide everything by negative 3. Negative 12 divided by negative 3, you get 4y squared, minus 75 divided by negative 3, you are left with 25y, and then 108, negative 108 divided by negative 3, you get positive 36. Positive 36 is equal to 0. Now we factorize, open up two brackets, look for your factors. 36 is equal to, we have 4 multiplied by 9. We have 4 and 9. We have 4 and 9. And then now we're gonna have 4. We're gonna put 4y here, we're gonna put y here, we put minus. 4y multiplied by y is gonna be 4y squared. 4y multiplied by 4 is gonna be 16y, minus 9y, which is gonna give us like 25, meaning that is correct. So 4y is equals to 9, y is equals to 9 over 4, or y is equals to positive 4. And then we go to the last question, which says for each values of k will the root of 6x squared plus 6 is equals to 4kx be real and equal, meaning that in this case, if you want these to be real or equal, we're going to say delta is equal to b squared minus 4ac. That's when the values of x can be real or equal, when the delta is equal to b squared minus 4ac. So in this instance, for it to be equal, we're going to say 0 is equals to b squared minus 4ac. So now you have a standard equation there. You put it in the correct format. It's going to be 6x squared minus 4kx plus 6. Now you have your equation there, and then you substitute here. 6 is our a, negative 4k is going to be our b, and positive 6 is going to be our c. You substitute, which is negative 4k all squared minus 4 into a, which is 6, c, which is 6, it's equals to 0, and then negative 4k all squared is 16k squared, and then 4, negative 4 into 6 into 6, it's equals to negative 144 is equals to 0, and then 16k squared, it's equals to 144, positive 144, divided by 16, 144 divided by 16 adds 9, and then root off to cancel that, so that we can have k being equal to positive or minus 3. Thank you guys for listening today. I hope you have a wonderful day. Please don't forget to like and follow. Have a wonderful day.